Hey guys, this is Matt Granger, that Nikon guy. Welcome to a head-to-head comparison between the new Tamron 24-70 f2.8 VC and the classic Nikon 24-70 2.8 ED no VC. Of course no VC, because the Tamron is the first one ever on that focal length to bring out a VC model. This is literally the first model that's landed in Australia. This is actually a Canon mount, so today I can't do a image quality comparison of these two, but I want to go through and show you them side by side, talk you through their different specs, and then I will be doing image quality tests to compare the two coming up very soon. So let's jump in and have a look at them nice and close up. Okay, so the most obvious thing that stands out immediately is both retracted. The Nikon is a fair bit longer. Have to keep in mind it does also have a thicker end cap on it. So when we take them off, you can see it is a fair bit longer than the Tamron model. In terms of weight, they're quite close. The Nikon is actually 900 grams compared to the Tamron's 825. So not a hell of a lot of difference, maybe 10% difference between the two. Comparing specs on these two, they both have obviously a 24 to 70mm focal range. They both stop down from 2.8 all the way through to f22. They both have the same field of view. The Tamron has 17 lens elements through there in 12 groups, whereas the Nikon has 15 in 11 groups. So it's surprising that the Tamron is actually lighter. I think that may come down to this one being high quality ABS plastic, whereas the body of the Nikon is actually made of metal. They both have 9-blade rounded apertures. They both are at the head of their class, focusing down to 38 centimeters from the focal plane. Obviously, they're both autofocus. They both have the latest generation of silent motor in them. The Tamron has an 82mm front filter size, whereas the Nikon is 77. And you'll notice they both have a fair amount of metal before the filter thread, so the front element of the Tamron is actually bigger. In terms of ergonomics, the Tamron's focus ring is quite small and at the back, like a Canon lens. The Nikon obviously is up the front, and they both have quite a big chunky zoom ring. Now, whilst the Nikon is considerably taller when they're standing closed, when you zoom them both out to their longest point, they're both actually quite similar. You'll notice that the Tamron only physically extends the once. When you go from 24 to 70, it gets longer, whereas with the Nikon, it's at its smallest when it's around 50mm, then turning it to 7, it extends a little bit, 50 it goes back, and then the 24 is where it actually is at its longest. Of course, both lenses have full metal contacts where they join onto the camera, and they do both have a small weather sealing tab around the bottom, which is fantastic. Okay, now in the interest of full and open disclosure before we get into this series of comparisons, I have to say the Nikon 24-70 is my all-time favorite lens. Maybe not the one that brings me the absolute most pleasure to use, but it's the one that I use far more than any other lens. For me, the focal length is just perfect, and whilst this may not be the fastest, the sharpest lens out there, it's definitely one of the most sharp, it's definitely one of the fastest focusing, it's definitely one of the most accurate, and it's certainly one of the best built ones. And all of those things paired with the focal range, which for me is just fantastic, means this has a really special place in my heart. That said, so does Tamron. I've tested a lot of their lenses and have been really impressed. If this performs optically anywhere in the league of this one, adding the benefit of VR and shaving hundreds and hundreds of dollars off the price, this is going to be a serious contender. So please do subscribe for updates. I'll be doing a series of videos with the Tamron 24-70, comparing it to the Nikon. And I'll be bringing you first-hand account of how I find using this one over the next couple of days, including full-res images to show you the quality that this one can produce against the tried, tested and true Nikon version. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Matt Granger, that Nikon guy. Until next time, get your gear out.